you're a master hypnotist, right?
Yeah.
What does hypnosis do for somebody, or what is hypnosis actually? Actually, because that's a better way, because most people think it's just a parlor trick, but it's something that happens every day to people, right?
Yeah, I mean, we go in and out of hypnosis many times a day, especially on social media, as we're scrolling and the lights and the images start to move. Or if you've ever been on a really long drive and you don't know, you've gone 10 miles without realizing it, but you've been deep in thought, or when you first wake up or when you go to bed, or hypnological states. But you know this because you're working with the subconscious all day long, which is the subconscious really is your body. It's where we hold all of our autonomic nervous system, where we hold all of our beliefs and feelings. So the hypnosis really starts to work with those things that you don't see, to release trauma, to release feelings, and to start to change some of those beliefs that are maybe holding us back.
So how do beliefs get planted in us? I mean, they're like, where does it all start, and then how do those beliefs start showing up in our lives?
I think that I believe that we carry beliefs with us from life to life, and I'm sorry if that's going too far.
No, absolutely. Hey, this is our audience. I mean, it's like I saw a coffin at 5 years old and freaked out, but I'd never had a TV. And how did that happen? I've spent my entire life trying to explain that from a biological standpoint. There is no explanation.
You can't. Hey guys, Dr. Daniel Amen has the brain health program. I just saw someone asking about that, but I would start with what Gary's doing and then Ian, but that's also a great one. So yes, I believe that we carry these. So Dr. Brian Weiss was a man that wrote a book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And he had put people into hypnosis. He was a psychologist, and they were going back to previous lives where things had happened to them, right? And as they explored those things in previous lives, regression, their issues in this life were curing up. So I believe that we carry these things from life to life, and we start to build these beliefs, like you in the coffin. And therefore, we need to go in and make them conscious and start to change these things. And if you don't believe in past life regression, you don't hold those feelings, it doesn't really matter, because the imagery of it can help you start to shape your beliefs. And then with shaping the beliefs that you want, you can also let go of the limiting beliefs that you have. And when you combine this with food, and then you combine it with movement, it's like everything starts to change.
So, yeah, and that's a good point, because the way we perceive in this world is through two lenses. Actually, it's three technically. It's our biome, our virome, and then our parasites. So if my biome is agitated, I don't see the same thing. Like okay, a young woman who has fear of being abused doesn't even see that she's in a relationship that she's going to be abused again. That's a really common one. And why is it that happens? There's a subconscious trigger, and there's also a reinforcement to keep that trigger in the way that they live their life, what they eat, what their biome is, stuff like that. So what would that subconscious trigger, like, how come it's so powerful it takes over their brain and doesn't allow them to move past that?
It's so powerful because our body integrates it into the main operating system, right? And it immediately triggers you, and it has to be released to allow you to be over it. But the conscious mind is only controlling 5%. So like the subconscious, the body and the autonomic nervous system, controlling 95%. So we wonder why these triggers are so powerful. It's because they're not just something we're forcing. They're a main part of our operating system. And a lot of things like that, like why are people anxiously attached versus avoidant, right? And why can we check our text messages to see if we got that message from the person we liked so much, and then go into a tailspin when we see them on Instagram and not responding to our text messages. Like, those little triggers are all things based on our beliefs of whether we're good enough, whether we have this confidence, whether we're worthy, all those things.
So a lot of people just go, they go the Anthony Robbins route, which is, I believe I'm strong. I believe I'm powerful. I believe this, but I see that being repeated over and over and over again, but I see the failure at the most part at the end. Why does this positive reinforcement that people are trying not exactly working? Like, they keep saying the same things over and over again, but that's not working.
Yeah. Well, I think that you go to like a Tony Robbins event or any event like that, and you say these things over and over again, and it like, you get into your subconscious a little bit, but it's your conscious mind, but you get this emotional high, and then you go home, and then after a few weeks of just like you repeating that to yourself alone, it wears off, right? So it's more of an emotional kind of high at the moment, and it doesn't make lasting change. Whereas like when you're doing fascial maneuvers every day and you're literally changing the subconscious of your body through movement, and then you go and change an actual belief and replace it. By the way, you can't remove a habit or a belief without replacing it with something else. It's like you take something out, you got to put something in. So you actually start to make these changes in the part of you that that doesn't need to reinforce it with an affirmation every day anymore. And so I think those things aren't working because you get this emotional high, and then it's like going to the gym for a week. You start to feel strong, but if you stop going, then it just doesn't work.
Okay, so someone's reading PMA books, they're telling themselves those stories, they're talking to themselves, not working. What can they do practically today to help change that belief set?
Well, what they can do actively today to help change the belief set is, journaling. It's kind of something people talk about online all the time, but journaling in the present tense, and as if the belief has already changed. I'm so happy that I can allow myself to have a relationship that I love, or to do something is incredibly powerful, because as you continue to write, especially if you're writing free form, don't think about it. Just start to write. Yeah, you're accessing your subconscious as your hand movement, as you just start to write and write and write. Sometimes you can even start with your eyes closed a little bit, even if it's messy on the page. And that's incredibly powerful to start to shift things.
When I would tell people how to program like Olympic athletes, what I do is I have them walk and move their hands like this, because that actually is saving programs in the nerve system. There are 10 fingers, there's 10 organs. There's 10 toes, and there's 10 organs. Each finger belongs to an organ, specifically fascially, and that belongs to an emotional set, which emotions have, our organs have more, and people don't know this, but they have a high density of olfactory nerve endings, nerve cells. They have the highest density of these olfactory nerves, which are basically sight, sound, touch, taste, hearing, smell, all that, so that they can remember. So that's why smelling something, moving something, and that's part of the hypnotic process, right? It's like moving somewhere, smelling somewhere, doing something, right?
Yeah. When I put people into hypnosis, you activate all of the sensory imagery, because that's how we actually, in our our body remembers. It remembers how it felt. It remembers that feeling by what it smelled, what color it was, what it sounded like, what it felt like touch, right? And that's, this because you're talking about it all the time. It's like, the things that have the most profound emotional effect on us is what we lock in, what we lock into it. So the bigger the emotion, the brighter the smell, the touch, the color, the quicker we'll lock it in.
So this is like when I'm driving down the road, I hear a song from 20 years ago, and boom, I'm transported to the first time I kissed that girl.
Yes, exactly right.
And then I zone out for a minute, and like that's hypnosis, right?
Yeah. Or you're transported to like that breakup you had, and you like feel it as though it was yesterday. And that's a lot of it. It's like, how do you move out of those trigger feelings and replace them with other stuff?
So,
and that's like so
when I was when I was locked up for 27 months and I was 17 months in solitary confinement.
Oh my God.
The way that I got through that 17 months was, number one, is I wrote 1,000 reasons why this was good for me, and I used my hands to do it, and I used both hands. And then the other thing that I used is I used imagery. So I would imagine myself with my wife and the kids and the dog in the park. And I would sit in the imagination until I could smell the grass. I could hear the dog, and I would laugh. I'd create a laughter from a funny situation. So I would get that emotion. But that's literally how I made it through 17 months of solitaire.
That's amazing. I mean, that's profound.
And by the way, I knew all the components, but I'd never done it before. That's what taught me to do it.
Wow.
It's like necessity is the mother of all invention, right?
Yeah, I mean, people like you are very self-taught, and that's why you're kind of leading, a revolution of releasing the body and mind. But there's been studies that's shown that like weightlifters have just sat down on a couch and spent a few hours a day visualizing lifting weights, visualizing getting strong, and they've had a significant growth in muscle mass. So it's like your brain can't tell what's fantasy and what's not. So it just releases based on what we're telling it to, like you in confinement imagining the love of your family, or a weightlifter on a couch thinking about lifting weights.
So one of the ways that I use, because I use motion, I use sensory overload to impact the organs. So I use essential oils. What I do is I imagine something. I take essential oils, and then I'll do a fascial maneuver, and then I'll smell again. I'll do a maneuver set. And then what happens is, what I want to have that story play out in my life, I go back and I just take the essential oil and I smell it, like right when I need the confidence or I need something. And I find that I bring back all of the times that I've meditated or imagined it all within a second.
Yes. You lock it in with that smell, and then all you need to do is, you could even carry that essential oil with you if you're going into an important event.
I do all the time. I got it with me all the time.
Take a quick hit, and then you're like, I'm right back in there. There's a movie made about that, I think. It's like, I love to like magnetize something like that, and you take it with you, and it becomes almost like your talisman to like for strength.
So when I do a fascial maneuvers class, a smaller one, and there's like 20, 30, 50 people there, I take my oil out and then put a drop on everybody's hands. I have them smell it. I go into maneuver, and then I give them an affirmation.
I love that. I want to come to Mexico so we can do a fascial maneuvers where I put people into a trance first, and then you take them even further in.
Oh, I'm so in for that.
Yeah, that would be fun. We could do it in a quieter place, not at the beach or something though, but where we put them in, we'll use every factor. We'll put them into a trance, we'll give the smell, we'll do the maneuvers, and then we'll take them back out, and we'll see if we can walk people into a new dimension almost.
Do you think you can do that online?
I think that I could. I think that I could do that online. It's yes. It's
what if we got everybody to go get like an oil or something that they could easily get? We did it online, and we put it on Zoom, like one of our classes that we do. We have 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people there.
Yeah, and I guess we could get thousands of people. We could get them into a state. We could get them activating their senses. We could get them into a state, activating senses, doing fascial maneuvers, releasing, and then going forward. Okay,
somebody said try it now. Why don't you could do something right now, right?
Yeah, we could. We could do something right now. It depends on the people. I don't want anybody to do this if you're driving or if you're walking. This is not something to listen to if you are, in anything but a safe place. Okay. And so we'll start with this. We'll just start with I will start with just identifying how the mind works. So Gary, you too, if you put your hand up like this, and I just want you to stare at the tip of your middle finger, and this will allow me to understand your particular suggestibility, but everybody else can follow along. And as you're staring at the tip of your middle finger, I'm going to energetically just tap on the top of your middle finger. Tap, tap, tap. And as I tap on the top of your middle finger, I am you can just listen to my voice. And as you listen to my voice, your fingers will start to spread slowly at first and then further and further apart. And as your fingers spread further and further apart and listen to my voice, they will start to go a little bit further. And as they go a little bit further and spread further and further apart, you feel far more relaxed. And as you feel more relaxed, in turn, your hand will feel further apart. And as you do, you'll notice that you're fully in control of your body and you can stand up straight, but your mind starts to relax. And as your fingers become further and further apart, it's almost hard to keep them together. And you may try to keep them together a little bit, but as you do, they just spread further and further apart. And as they start to spread further apart, you may notice that your hand starts to jerk just a little bit and your breathing gets different. And as you notice that, you may notice that your arm starts to stiffen up. And as you're noticing that your bicep and your shoulder is stiffen up, you're realizing that you continue to keep your balance. And as you keep your balance and your arm and your shoulder stiffen up, you may notice that your arm starts to move slightly towards your face. And as your arm starts to move slightly towards your face, you allow your hand to come just a little bit closer. And I don't know if your hand is moving closer to your face or if your arm is pulling your hand closer to your face, but your subconscious knows. And as your subconscious decides, so it will, and like a magnet will come. And when it touches your face, you'll go into a deep sleep. 1, 2, 3, deep sleep, eyes closed, standing straight up. Now I want you to know that you can put your hand down and stay completely standing still. And as you're standing still and in total balance, I want you to know that we'll go down just a little bit further. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, Gary, I want you to know that the light that you see at the corner of your eyes in the place that you are now, that's the light for you. And the color is for you. In fact, that color will create an amazing day for you. You'll see it everywhere. And everywhere that you see it, you'll be completely alive and come to life. You'll feel energy and love expanding throughout your body. Take notice of that color now. Breathing it in through your nose, feeling life, feeling power. Breathing out any fear or anxiety. Breathing in life, passion, happiness, and power. Bringing out any anxiety. Breathing out now. Good. Locking in that color. Locking in the feeling of love and life and passion and coming back to the world. 1, feeling good, locking it in. 2, feeling 100% at ease and ready to start the day. 3, 4, and 5. Right back with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oof. Everything's really bright. Whoa.
What color did you have?
It's like a red. Like a red.
Nice. So that was very quick, but people online can replay this. And as they replay it, listen to it over and over again. And as they start to notice, allowing themselves to do it, and they'll start to identify the color that they have, right?
I'm looking around because saying my voice changed. I felt my neck. I felt micro adjustments through my neck and my cranial.
Yeah. And I mean, you're in touch. You're very in touch with it. So you can be put in trance and anywhere that you are. You don't have to be.
It's going down my whole body. It just released my SI joint.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that is really, really cool.
Good.
So working. Is this something you do with people? Like, do you work with clients personally and take them through this, coach them, mentor them? What do you do?
Not much anymore. I have a few clients that I still see, but not as much anymore. It's really a passion of mine, so I'll do it with large groups. I'll do it with the folks I start businesses with. There's a lot of times that I'll do it. But I'm not, there's very few folks that I'm taking one-on-one with. However, I would 100%, when we get a large group together, we take it much slower. And we make sure that people are getting into it. And
I feel very calm and grounded.
Yeah.
That's why it's red. It's my root. It's grounding me. Because I was feeling a little ungrounded today. I was I was having I was having thoughts of, you know, because today's a day about what I want or what I don't want, how I'm going to treat myself. So I was having boundary thoughts, you know, like I don't want this anymore. I don't want this in my life. I don't want this in my life. And those just kind of neutralized right now.
Really? I love that. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, this just opens up the ability for you to, you know, have a little bit more conscious control.
Interesting. Yeah. My voice has changed. I can hear it. I'm speaking completely differently right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, and taking something like that, then adding a maneuver, a smell, a bit of music or something like that to cauterize the experience, right?
And then you lock it in, and then all you have to do is smell that smell, or do that maneuver, and it takes you right back there. But can we do? I always love to do maybe a twisted or a vagus nerve reset. Those are my favorite to do with you.
Yeah.
If you could leave me in that camp.
Yeah. Let's actually do something right now. But let's do something for the head. You into that?
Yeah.
Super powerful. Let's take our thumb, put it inside the ear. This is for your jaw. It's for your temple. You grab the ear, so you got a good grab, and you're going to torque it. So you're like really twisting it. You feel tension coming up through here and through here. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this is going to relieve pressure in your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your head. Open and close your jaw 3 times. Look up and open and close 3 times. Chin to chest, open and close 3 times. Keep your chin at your chest, look up to your right 3 times. Look up to your left. Come back to center. Take your hands, grab the whole ear, pull them up. Pull up that way. Pull your chin, your chest, and pull tighten up your spine and pull your head to the ground. Feel the stretch in the back of your shoulders. Breathe in. 2, 3. Through the nose. 2, 3. It's for headaches, tension, racing thoughts, head, neck. Move your head, neck around.
My neck.
And then look around and see.
Yes. My neck feels so loose right now.
And look around and see, does it look a little brighter, sharper, more like 4K?
Yeah, it does. It does. But
and the reason I wanted to do that is because I just had this amazing experience with you, and that opens up the limbic region of the brain to be more open, more susceptible, or more open to input.
I can feel the fascia. I can feel the tingly and like fascia just opening up around my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's really cool.
So Jim, coming to Mexico for sure. But the other part too is, I think, and maybe we come to Mexico first and do it, but I would love to do this as an online class, maybe 90 minutes or an hour. We do it on a Zoom class, have people sign up for it in advance. We, maybe have, 500, 800 people, could be something like that. And then we do this and we incorporate this with smell, with some sort of frequency, and with some fascial maneuvers and see what we can do. Because I really believe that taking this and going at the core programming that we have, which is, I'm not good enough, I'm not valuable, I'm not worthy, all that stuff, and then just tackle that and see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I want to tackle, people are living 100% autonomically by fear. It's all fear-based. Like everything that we're doing and not doing is either because we're running from fear or we're running from pain or fear of pain. And I'd love to start to tackle that. Hi, Denise.
Hey, Denise says hi, by the way.
I don't know if you know Michael Gallion, but he just joined as well. And check him out because he has these meditations that are just beyond.
Oh, do you know him personally?
Yeah.
Introduce us, please. And Denise just jumped on too.
Denise, Denise, Michael, and I should get together because we're all in New York City.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to doing this. Let's talk offline.
Okay.
And people can follow you at Jim Curtis 1. I know you're putting up some awesome content. You're going to be putting up some content that's going to rock people's minds.
Thanks for the advice on that. I mean, you always give the best advice. So if you have a question that maybe you're embarrassed to ask anyone else, I'm happy to answer it.
Yeah, I have lots of those questions.
Yes,
I don't find myself much embarrassed anymore, but I have lots of questions.
Yeah. So that will be our next live.
Okay, Jim. I appreciate you so much.
Thanks, Gary.
Everybody follow Jim Curtis 1. Thank you again, Jim. Take
All right,
care.
bye.